Can you believe it? With just $400 a month, the same amount that in the US would barely cover half the rent for a shabby apartment. In another corner of the world, it turns into a complete life. A home with a balcony overlooking the sea, 3 hot meals a day, neighbors inviting you to join a karaoke party, and lazy afternoons sipping coffee under bougainvillea vines. $400 in the US is just pressure, but in these countries, it's the key that unlocks freedom. Imagine no longer waking up to the sound of bill reminders, but to church bells, ocean waves, or the cheerful singing from a small cafe down the street. Instead of rushing to keep up with debt, you can slow down, live deeply, and savor the simple joys of each day. This is not just a video about low cost of living. It's an invitation to step into a new chapter, where retirement is not the end, but the chance to begin a journey of happiness. Are you ready to see 5 countries where $400 a month can cover everything? If you're ready, hit like, subscribe, and join me to explore, because one of them might just be the retirement home you've been searching for. Dream it. Pack it. Go. 5. Nicaragua, the golden hammock of Central America. If the world had a giant hammock stretched between the Caribbean and the Pacific, it would surely be Nicaragua. A hammock the color of golden sunshine, swaying in the breeze, cradling people into a gentle afternoon nap. Not as noisy as Mexico, nor as glamorous as Costa Rica, Nicaragua surprises with its simplicity. It doesn't boast, it doesn't promise luxury, yet it offers enough for the heart to find peace. And what shocks most people even more is that with just about $400 a month, you don't just exist, you truly live. You live slowly, live deeply, live fully. Imagine a morning in Granada, a city often called the jewel of Central America. Sunlight pours over red-tiled streets, old moss-covered rooftops. You step out from your yellow brick house shaded by banana trees, paying only $250 a month in rent. Utility bills, electricity, water, internet, fit neatly into $40, so little it wouldn't even cover a week of Starbucks in New York. You head to the market, and for $15 you return with a basket full of fresh vegetables, meat, fish, and spices. Breakfast is hot gallo pinto with eggs and a strong black coffee for only $2. Lunch is grilled fish by the beach in San Juan del Sur, $5, and so good you want to order another. In the afternoon, you stroll through Leon, church bells echoing in the sunlit air, and at night on your porch, the breeze lulls you to sleep. All in all, an American can easily live comfortably here on $390 to $420 a month, including housing, food, utilities, and other basic expenses. But Nicaragua doesn't stop at cheap numbers. What makes this country a true golden destination is its friendly immigration policy. U.S. citizens are visa-exempt for 90 days, and extensions are very easy. More importantly, if you have a pension of at least $600 a month, you already qualify for the Pensionado retirement visa, a truly attractive ticket. It exempts foreign income from taxes, allows you to bring in household goods tax-free, and even import a car for personal use with reduced or waived tax. While many countries force you to navigate a maze of complicated paperwork, Nicaragua opens a door that feels simple and familiar, like an old wooden door left ajar, waiting for you to step through. When it comes to healthcare, you might think a poorer country would struggle to meet medical needs, but the truth is different. In Managua or Granada, a private doctor's visit costs only about $25–30, and many private hospitals have equipment modern enough to handle most common conditions. Public service may be basic, but with international health insurance for just a few dozen dollars a month, you can feel completely at ease, And if you need more complex surgery, just a few hours' drive to Costa Rica, one of Central America's leading medical hubs, gives you access to high-quality care. Many expats joke that they rarely use their insurance here because costs are so low they just pay out of pocket and hardly feel a burden. As for safety, Nicaragua has two faces. In Granada, Leon, or smaller towns, you'll feel peace, low levels of violence, and a warm community. People here aren't loud, but they're genuine. With just a smile or a nod, you gain a new neighbor. They'll easily share an afternoon coffee with you or throw in extra vegetables when they see you struggling with Spanish bargaining. However, in some larger cities or remote areas, petty theft does exist, and it's also true that Nicaragua has gone through political instability that makes some investors hesitant. Yet for most expats living in its peaceful towns, these aren't barriers that stop them from settling down. Nicaragua also has an interesting truth that few notice. It is the second poorest country in Latin America in terms of GDP per capita. Agriculture is the backbone of the economy. Coffee, sugar, beef, and cigars are the main exports. But precisely because the economy is still simple, with low service and labor costs, foreigners get the chance to enjoy a high standard of living on a modest budget. In the US, $400 only covers a few days of shopping, but in Nicaragua, it pays for an entire month of living expenses. What's even more fascinating is that despite the hardships, Nicaraguans are famous for their optimism. The mañana spirit, tomorrow, is always present in their smiles. Perhaps that's why many newly arrived Americans are astonished. How can people with so little material wealth be so rich in hospitality and joy? A vivid example is the story of Rick, 67, from Texas. In the US, he was used to modern conveniences. Press a button, the washing machine runs, the microwave beeps, the AC hums all day. But on his first day in a yellow brick house in Granada, Rick fumbled with an old wood stove. He struck a match, smoke stung his eyes, and his pot of gallo pinto came out half-cooked. Luckily, his neighbor Marisol came over, smiled kindly, and showed him how to stack the wood in an A shape, adding a few dry leaves to get the fire going. Rick later recalled with laughter, "In the US, I paid $200 a month for my electricity bill. Here, I just learned how to blow on the fire and smile, and I had a full meal for less than $2. From a grumpy old man angry at bills, Rick gradually found joy in cooking on a wood stove, buying fresh fish at the market with clumsy Spanish, or sitting on the porch fanning himself instead of turning on the AC. And it was precisely those clumsy moments that made him feel more connected to the community. More and more Americans, Canadians, and Europeans are choosing Nicaragua as their stopover. In Granada or San Juan del Sur, small expat communities have formed, with lakeside cafes, morning yoga classes, and shared fish barbecues. Many people first came for the low cost, but stayed for the friendliness. One American expat once said, "Here, you don't just rent a house, you rent the smiles too." Nicaragua does not promise glamour. It doesn't give you glittering shopping malls, nor four-lane highways stretching straight. But it gives you a different rhythm of life. Mornings watching golden sunlight on red rooftops, afternoons listening to cicadas by bougainvillea vines, evenings sitting in a wicker chair on the porch, the breeze cooling you, and bills that never make you break a sweat. It gives you a simple economy, but enough to live comfortably, a gentle community, and people who treat you like a soulmate even if they've just met you. Nicaragua is the golden hammock, simple, sturdy, ready to hold you in retirement. A place where you sway between peace and freedom, where you relax your body, let go of burdens, and realize that sometimes what we need is not more money, but a different pace of life. Slower, more real, and happier. If you feel your heart wants to rest on this golden hammock, leave a comment. I choose Nicaragua. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to continue exploring affordable retirement paradises around the world. For Nepal, the kingdom where time agrees to pause. If Nicaragua is the golden hammock swaying by the sea, then Nepal is like an old book forgotten on the peak of the Himalayas, where every page is soaked with incense and mountain wind. Here, clocks seem tired of running, so they slow down, giving space for human hearts to catch up with life's rhythm. Imagine a morning in Pokhara. You wake up in a small tin roof house facing Lake Fiwa, rent only about $120. Pull open the window, sunlight sparkles through the clouds, reflecting on the mirror-like water. Out on the street, a steaming bowl of momo with a cup of spicy ginger tea costs only $1 In the US, that money wouldn't even be enough for a barista's tip. And sometimes the barista wouldn't even bother to smile at you. The cost of living in Nepal is so light, you might laugh. Electricity, water, and internet together are only about $30. A traditional dal bat meal, rice, lentils, and greens, just $2. $15 at the market is enough for rice, tomatoes, and potatoes for the whole week. Adding it up, an American can easily live comfortably in Nepal for about $350, $420 a month. But Nepal isn't just cheap. It opens up a different way of life, where people are respected as they grow older. Locals call you Dai or Didi, brother, sister, as a tribute to age. Walking through Bhaktapur, you might suddenly be invited to learn a folk dance or try pottery with an artisan in their 80s or 90s whose hands are still as supple as clay. In terms of policy, Nepal allows U.S. visitors to stay up to 150 days a year by extending a tourist visa, at a cost equal to just one fancy dinner in Boston. No big investment needed, no proof of assets. You just need a passport and a heart that wants to live slowly. Healthcare here is also more affordable than many expect. A private consultation in Kathmandu costs only about $20–$30, and doctors often speak good English. For higher-level care, it just takes a short flight to Bangkok or Delhi. Many long-term expats even say they never need major health insurance, because living here, their spirits heal before their bodies do. And the story of Tom, 64, from Arizona will make you smile. After losing his wife and being weighed down by $1,800 rent in the U.S., he came to Pokhara with 2 sets of clothes and an old notebook. On his first day at the market, Tom struggled to buy tomatoes, mixing up the Nepali word, and ended up bringing home a whole bag of fiery red chilies. He coughed and laughed at the same time. And that evening, his Nepali neighbors came over to help him cook a super spicy curry that the whole neighborhood shared. Tom said, "In the U.S., I lived to pay rent. In Nepal, I lived to laugh." Nepal is not perfect. Streets can sometimes be dusty, power may cut unexpectedly, and the internet is just enough to remind you of the 2000s. But it is precisely these things that make the experience real, where you learn to light an oil lamp when the electricity goes out, instead of getting angry. Nepal is a gift not wrapped in shiny foil, but wrapped in afternoon sunlight, in temple bells, and in the gentle eyes of locals. It forces you to ask yourself, what is wealth? A big house, a fancy car, or a morning sitting by the lake, sipping hot ginger tea, listening to the wind blowing from the Himalayas? If you feel your heart wants to try living like this at least once, leave a comment. I choose to live slowly in Nepal. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, so the next journey could be the turning point of your retirement. 3. Philippines. The karaoke song of retirement. If Nepal is the epic of mountains, then the Philippines is like a lively tune, where every street corner can turn into a concert. You step outside your house, walk less than 50 meters, and already hear Mariah Carey's voice echoing from a small shop, then glance over at your neighbor's place to see the whole block clapping and laughing under neon lights. Here, living cheaply doesn't mean living poor. It means living rich in laughter. In the Philippines, you can live comfortably on just $380–430 a month, including rent, food, utilities, and even endless karaoke parties with your neighbors. A small room with a balcony facing the sea in Dumaguete or Bacolod costs only about 150 euros a month. Electricity, water, and internet together come to about 50. Cheaper than a cable package in the US food? With just $100 a month, you've got enough rice, grilled fish, fresh vegetables, and sweet ripe mangoes. Even $10 is enough for you and a few new friends to throw a little party. Stir-fried pancit noodles, grilled fish, cool calamansi juice, and a karaoke session so on fire, the neighbors come over to cheer. In terms of policy, the Philippines welcomes American retirees with the SRRV, Special Resident Retiree Visa, which is extremely friendly. You only need to prove retirement income of about $800 a month and make a $10,000 bank deposit. In return, you get a long-term visa, no need for visa runs, and best of all, no tax on foreign pension income. Compared to countries that force retirees to run paperwork marathons, this is truly a golden ticket for anyone wanting peace of mind for the long haul. Healthcare is also a plus. In Manila, Cebu, or Davao, private hospitals are no less modern than in the US, and doctors speak fluent English. A private consultation costs only about $20, and minor surgery a few $100s instead of tens of thousands back home. For more complex cases, you can always fly quickly to Singapore or Thailand, but most expats find the local care more than sufficient. As for safety, the Philippines is not an absolute paradise. Some areas suffer from big storms or petty crime. But if you choose to live in Visayas or Mindoro, gentle regions with fewer typhoons, daily life is extremely pleasant. Locals here treat community like family. Go to the market a few times and you'll be called friend. Sit in a cafe twice and the owner will invite you to a pastry. John, 72, from Oregon, came to Dumaguete just to try a month, but 4 years have passed. On his first day, John was shocked that the whole neighborhood sang karaoke from morning till night. He thought, "Don't people work? If they just sing all day, who makes money?" But within a week, neighbors dragged him onto a makeshift stage, handed him a microphone, and made him sing My Way. He trembled through the song, and the entire block erupted in applause. At that moment, John understood. Here, singing isn't for fame, it's to erase sorrow, to connect. He laughed. In the US, I was rich in possessions but poor in laughter. Here, I'm poor in possessions but rich with a whole choir. The Philippines brings a new color to retirement. The blue of the sea, the yellow of mangoes, and the vibrant hues of communal laughter. It's not just a place to save money. It's a place to have more time to laugh, to sing, to feel young again. If you want a retirement that isn't dull, where every day can turn into an impromptu concert, leave a comment. I choose smiles in the Philippines. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to follow the next journey. One that might just be the retirement home you've been looking for. 2. Albania. The forgotten gem of the Mediterranean. In Albania, a country often overshadowed by the glamour of Italy or Greece, you'll discover a little secret. With just $370 a month, you can enjoy a European-flavored life without draining your bank account. Imagine opening the door of your small apartment in Vlora in the morning, Adriatic sea breeze rushing in, waves murmuring, and that apartment only costs about $150–200 a month. Electricity, water, and internet together are just $40. At the market, with $20, you walk away with a basket full of fresh fish, greens, and local wine. And dinner at a small roadside restaurant with grilled fish, salad, and a glass of fragrant red wine costs only $6–7. For comparison, in New York, $7 only gets you a sandwich, without a smile included. What shocks American retirees most about Albania is the visa. U.S. citizens can stay up to 1 year without applying for a visa, a rare privilege in Europe. After that, if you want to stay long-term, you only need to prove stable income to apply for a residence permit, without having to pour millions into real estate like in many other countries. For many, this is nothing less than a golden ticket into Europe through the back door, both legal and affordable. When it comes to healthcare, Albania can't yet compare to Italy or Germany, but private hospitals in Tirana or Durrës are good enough for basic medical needs, with each visit costing around $30–40. And if you want high-end services? Italy or Greece are only a few hours away by ferry. In fact, many expats living in Albania choose international insurance, both for peace of mind and to avoid costs from skyrocketing. Safety is another surprising plus. Contrary to the stereotype of a complicated Balkans, Albania today is peaceful and welcoming. Locals have a saying, "We invite you into our home before asking who you are." Indeed, you might be strolling down a small alley in Tirana when someone calls you over to share a glass of reki, the strong grape liquor that burns but warms the heart. If you've ever dreamed of living in Europe but feared the cutthroat expenses, think of Albania. Leave a comment. I choose number 2. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because this just might be the new chapter in your life. 1. Morocco, the kingdom of mint and golden sands. In Morocco, the average monthly cost for an American is only about $450. But what you're really buying isn't just a roof and meals. It's an entire canvas alive with colors, scents, and sounds. Step into the old Medina of Marrakesh. Spices in red, yellow, and orange laid out like a painter's palette. The calls of vendors, drums, and camel bells blending into a chaotic but enchanting symphony. You sit down at a small roadside cafe and order chicken tagine with preserved lemons for just $4–5, along with a foamy glass of mint tea. The timeless ritual of Moroccans. In the US, $5 might only buy you a lukewarm latte, but here it delivers an entire ceremony. The cost of living is as light as a breath. A one-bedroom apartment in Essaouira, the windy seaside city, runs about $280–320 per month. Utilities and internet? Just $40. With $20 at the market, you can bring home vegetables, fresh sardines, and a dozen fragrant spices. Enough for the whole week. And if you don't feel like cooking, just head out to the street. $2 gets you fresh bread stuffed with grilled meat and salad. You can sip coffee at a French-style cafe in Rabat in the morning, stroll through an Islamic market at noon, and ride a camel under the Sahara stars at night. That's not just cheap living. It's a ticket through multiple worlds in a single day. Immigration policy is easygoing too. Americans get a 90-day visa exemption and can apply for residency if they can prove stable retirement income. With a pension of around $500 per month, you won't just survive. You'll thrive. As for healthcare, public hospitals can be crowded, but private ones in Casablanca or Rabat are modern, with many doctors speaking English or French. A private consultation? Only 10-20. With international insurance, you're completely covered. Safety is acceptable overall. Mostly pickpockets in busy markets, not much different from Times Square. James, 68, from Florida, used to spend more than $200 on a tiny U.S. apartment and hundreds more for every doctor visit. In Marrakesh, he rents a balcony apartment for just $320. On his first market trip, he awkwardly bargained in broken French until the vendor burst out laughing and tossed in fresh herbs for free. James laughed. In the U.S., I lived to pay bills. In Morocco, I lived to tell stories. Here, you learn to slow down with the rhythm of pouring mint tea, to look up at the stars falling over the desert, and to realize that sometimes wealth isn't in a bank balance, but in a friendly smile and a blazing sunset behind the Atlas Mountains. If you want your retirement to turn into a vivid painting, leave a comment. I choose Morocco. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because your very first glass of mint tea here might be the beginning of a new chapter in your life. With just $400 a month, you can choose to live in peaceful Nicaragua, joyful Philippines filled with laughter, serene Albania by the blue sea, tranquil Nepal among sacred mountains, or colorful Morocco with its desert hues. Each place is a doorway to freedom, where bills no longer weigh you down and life feels lighter again. Remember, retirement is not the end, but an opportunity to begin a new life, simpler yet richer in meaning. If one of these countries makes your heart stir, leave its name in the comments. Hit like to spread the message of living enough and being happy, and subscribe so you won't miss the next journey. See you in the next video.